Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax. Today, I am going to be giving you my healthy overview or outlook on dating in 2024. A couple caveats. I am currently gay. I don't know why I said currently. I am gay. So this will be pertaining to gay dating advice, but it will pertain to just dating. In this beautiful year we call 2024. It will apply to kind of everything. It'll really apply if you are in your, I don't know, between the ages of 18 and 39, I'm gonna say, but it'll honestly apply to anybody at any time. So, first of all, I have had previous relationships. I know that now it's kind of uncommon to have had previous relationships, especially if you're in that age group that I just talked about. I know a lot of people who have never been on a first date, who have never had a boyfriend, never had a girlfriend, never tried dating, who have never been on a dating app. I think it's a lot more common to just not try any of this stuff now, whereas I feel like people in their 30s, they've done it all. You know, they've been on dates, they've had relationships, and a lot of that stuff. But I think the younger crowd, I think we are very much geared towards just like not involving ourselves in any of that stuff. We're busy trying to survive this economy, trying to figure out what we're doing. We're in school, we're moving, we're traveling, and I think a lot of people just aren't prioritizing dating because they just feel like it's very fruitless and it's very pointless and it's a waste of a lot of effort and time and money and resources. And they're just like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And I totally get that. I totally understand. I have been there. I have embodied that for the last 2 years. Yeah, just I get it. But I have recently decided to have like a new outlook, a new perspective on dating, how to date, what I do, and I thought maybe I would share it. Has there been a lot of success with this new outlook already? No, but at the same time, it has been better than previous attempts, and I like it a lot more. I'm enjoying the process a lot more. Part of this, I'm just going to get right into it. Part of this really revolves on not trying so hard. So my dating profiles, when I have them, are super honest, super open. I tell anybody looking at the profile exactly what I'm looking for. I use current pictures. No pictures are older than a year old. I don't believe in that. Never have, never will. Pretty honest. I'm looking for this. Let's go on a date. I don't like a lot of texting and communication before I meet with somebody. I want to go on an actual date. And another big component, and this might be quite different than the typical gay dating strategy, I will not sleep with anybody on these dates at all. It's not happening. The three big relationships that I had all started because we took our time to get to know each other. You know, we went on coffee dates, we went on dinner dates, we went on lunch dates, walking dates. There wasn't this like pressure to get physical or this need to get physical, and I was actually just genuinely interested in the person. You might have a different dating strategy, but I think if you want a long-term relationship, you need to be thinking in that long-term mentality. So that's just my advice on that particular subject. So this new dating perspective involves being super honest and forward and open with what I'm interested in. But there also is not an emphasis on trying to define the relationship immediately. There isn't this immediate need to become exclusive. There isn't this incredible need to have the what are we conversation. Typically, my perspective now is I would like to meet somebody that complements my personality, my likes and interests well. I'm not looking for a carbon clone of myself. But at the same time, I want the person to be fiercely independent, love their independence, have a good circle of people in their life. Logistically, it has to work. We have to live in, I'm not going to say the same town or the same area, but we have to be willing to compromise and meet each other halfway and do things like that. Um, they need to be open to engaging with my world as much as I'm open to engaging with their world. And I feel like a lot of what I've said is not radical or crazy or, game altering, game changing. Um, but I think a lot of it is overlooked, and I think a lot of it is not even considered when it comes to dating in this generation, in this world. Um, I think there is a big pressure to be physically beautiful. There is a big pressure to move very, very quickly and to escalate the relationship as fast as possible. I think it's super common for people to go on what I call 24-hour dates or 48-hour dates, which is exactly what it sounds like. Go for coffee and then go back to their place or go back to my place and hang out and then go for brunch in the morning or blah, blah, blah. And I think that's super unhealthy. If this strategy has worked for you, apologies. It has never worked for me. Maybe after a few months of getting to know somebody, those kinds of long-term spending time with each other work. But in my experience and from my friends and family who have been on long dates like this, that you never leave each other alone for the first week, it's never worked. I have never known a relationship that actually lasted that intense spending time together. In my opinion, it just doesn't work, and it doesn't work for our schedules and how we view life and those kinds of things. Another thing is sort of on the same lines of like not going home with somebody on the first or second date or even third or fourth date. I have become a lot more traditional in the sense of I'm not interested in like waiting until marriage, but I have that mentality. I have that mentality of I am looking for somebody to be in a long-term relationship with, not just a long-term relationship. I am looking for somebody to be married, committed to work together, to build a life together. And I think I let that be known very early on in the relationship. And in the last few months, that has scared so many time wasters. It has scared them out, which is great. It has gotten rid of people who I let them know, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I envision the next 5 years of my life to look like. You interested? And most of these people have run for the hills, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so glad that they have either honestly told me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not looking for that, or they've just ghosted me and disappeared. That has been such a blessing in disguise. At first, I felt really rejected and felt like, oh man, this is horrible. I'm being rejected on such a intense level. There was a week there where I was ghosted by 7 different guys, and I was like, actually, you know what? I let my intentions be known. I didn't put myself out there. I didn't, do things that I ended up regretting. I had, texting communication with these guys, and I let them know exactly what I was looking for, and they respectfully disappeared. They respectfully got the hell out of my way. And I really appreciate that, because I have been in so many situations where, you're kind of talking to somebody and something's starting and you kind of starting to get that like butterfly feeling in your chest when you think about them or you get a text from them, only for them to text you and say, hey, sorry, I'm not looking for a relationship. So it has been really nice to lead with the honesty and the intention very, very upfront and just saying, yo, this is where my head's at. Hope you agree. If not, bye. And so it has enhanced the dating perspective. And I have to say, even just like saying, hey, I'm a little more traditional. I'd like to really get to know you before we do anything. But I also don't want us to be spending every second together. I don't want us to be texting all the time. I'm someone who's not really good with when somebody texts me like, oh, I miss you, or like, oh, I just want to come cuddle. I'm not really good with that kind of stuff when it comes to relationships like that. I don't tend to thrive very well, and I don't know how to respond. And I think it's because it takes me quite a while to develop feelings and those deeper connections with people. And for whatever reason, other people out there, I don't know their trauma, I don't know what they've been through, but they're very quick to try and cling on. And that's how I think of it, like they're clinging. And anytime I see that, I just assume that they are a clingy person who doesn't actually mean what they say. They're just really looking for connection. And I get it. I get the need and the desire to have somebody in your corner, to have that relationship, to have that person, that boyfriend or girlfriend. But I'm not in a rush. I think a big part of what turns me off from this is that idea of being desperate or being really over enthused for somebody. Like don't get me wrong, I know my worth. I know that I try hard, I try my best, and I understand that those are attractive qualities. And I'm not trying to sound like an arrogant jerk. I know my self-worth. It's taken me a long time to realize that I am good enough for who I want to be, and I'm always going to strive to be better and to be stronger and to be more compassionate and to help my family and my friends. And I understand that. And so it takes me a lot to say, like, I know my worth and I know that I'm good. Because there's this little part of me that's saying, no, you're not. And I understand, like, it's very attractive. Like, I find it very attractive in other people when they have their world together. They're so independent, they're so strong. And I definitely used to cling to them. I definitely used to be like, oh, don't let me go, please. Like, I miss you so much. I have lost all sense of desperation. I have gotten rid of my desperate need for that kind of thing. I have really come to terms with how comfortable I am being who I am, to the point where I think if I never get into a serious relationship again, I'll be a-okay. You know, I know a lot of people say that and then they're like, oh, they don't actually mean it, and they're crying in their bedrooms at night. But I genuinely feel so good where I am and what I'm doing and my progress and my path and my journey that I am looking for someone in addition to, not because of, in spite of. And that removal of desperation is very attractive. I find it very attractive in other people. Like, oh, he's not desperate for me. He doesn't need me. Man, that's amazing. It's always nice to be needed. It's nice to be wanted, but it shouldn't be something that is the foundation of your relationship or the foundation of why you like somebody. And so this is the final element of my new dating perspective is I'm not desperate for it. I'm not, maybe I have like a hunger for it. I have this sort of desire for it a little bit. Hunger might be too strong of a word. I have this idea that it would be nice to be in a relationship and to have a committed partner who likes me for who I am and that kind of thing. But I'm not champing at the bit. I'm not desperately striving, and I'm not on every single dating app, and I'm not dating every single week, and I'm not texting a billion people, and I'm doing what I need to do. I'm focusing on my health and my career and everything in between, my family, my friends, the people I care about. And I know that if I stay on the path that I've chosen, I will find somebody who compliments me so well, who makes me see things in a totally different way, who makes me want to be a better person, who makes me strive to be the best version of myself, who doesn't care about my faults and my past and any of that stuff. And I know that if it's meant to be, it will be. I don't believe in soulmates, but I believe that just being the confident, caring person you are and keeping your heart open to it, you will find somebody. I actually just thought of a fourth element to this whole thing that I think is quite important in this whole perspective. And that is what I just said about keeping your heart open. So you really get to choose if you are accepting visitors. Like I often think of those signs that you see on doors sometimes, like no solicitors, which I don't know if they work or not. But the idea behind it is you're putting up something in the front of your house that says, back off. Not open for business. Leave me alone. If you do that, people will probably leave you alone. You're going to get a few psychos that are going to knock on your door and try to sell you a vacuum or whatever. But for the most part, you have stuck a flag in the ground saying, back off, not interested. If you do that, and many people do that through their lives, you find that very few people knock on your door. You know, you're not going to meet people. People aren't going to approach you. You're not going to go on dates. You're not going to meet new people. You're not going to get connected through friends of friends, or, you know, maybe a gym person asks you for their number, or you're at yoga or swimming or whatever you're doing. If you put that sign out on the front of your yard, you're going to stay alone. You know, you've put that intention out there, and that's what's going to happen. And so this perspective on the dating, which is, you know, keep your heart open, basically tend to your garden, work on your house, renovate, do nice things, spice it up, have some house parties, you know, enjoy existing and living your life and loving your home. But, you know, leave the sign open that says, you know, visitors welcome. You know, leave the world open to throwing those things at you, to meeting a random stranger, to getting to know a friend of a friend, to meeting somebody in a bar, or meeting somebody at the gym or the library or whatever. Leave it open. You know, you're busy, you're working on your house, maybe you're re-roofing, you're doing all of these things. This is my metaphor. Okay, so just stay with me. You're reworking on things, you're updating the electrical, you are, you know, putting a pool in the backyard. You're doing all of these things that you're loving to do, that are adding a lot of enjoyment to your life, that make your life worthwhile. Sorry. But if somebody comes to knock on your door while you're doing all of this stuff and you're living your best life and you're decorating your house and everything, if someone comes and knocks on your door, you're willing to open that door and say, oh, hi, who are you? What's going on? And who knows, that person could become your new partner that then works on the house with you, that then, you know, builds a life and a family together, that, you know, you can travel, you can put in that new pool, put in a basketball court, add a theater room, whatever. And so focus on your world, make it the best you can, focus on who you are, focus on your health, on the people in your life. But don't be afraid to answer that door if somebody comes knocking. You know, you can always tell them that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not looking for this, or, you know, I'm not in the right place, or you're not the right person for what I'm looking for. Do it in a nice way, though. But if you put that sign up that says no solicitors, leave me alone, that's it. You know, you are not going to meet anyone except the psycho vacuum salesman. And so my advice, in full summary, to sum up this whole beautiful video, is remove desperation, work on your life, work on what you're doing. You know, keep it a bit traditional, get to know somebody the old school way. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, if you're not, do your thing. You don't need to hold like a huge amount of judgment for anybody doing the way they want to do it. And then keep your heart open, you know, focus on exactly what makes you happy and healthy and love your life. And if somebody comes knocking, don't slam the door in their face. Ask them what their name is. Ask them what's going on, what they're interested in, you know. You might be very happily surprised that you answered the door. So that is my dating perspective for 2024. I could go into a whole bunch of things about toxic dating culture, the difficulties of masculinity and femininity. I could talk about straight relationships and gay relationships and the difficulty of social media and technology and how it's sort of a 24/7 dating culture. But that's probably another video. So I think it's about changing your perspective on dating, seeing what's out there, and at the end of the day, not putting too much pressure on yourself or the other person. It is so easy to find one small flaw in yourself or someone else and then just cut it all off. So don't do that. Take it slow. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be married by the end of the year, but enjoy what you do. So thank you again for watching. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. the dating culture and perspective of 2024. I know it's hard. I know it's ridiculous. And there are many sleepless nights and difficulties and all kinds of fun. So yeah, I hope you're having an amazing day, week, month, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, guys, I will talk to you